learn, plan, repeat, learn, plan, repeat. And this cycle continued for months before I began to ask myself, yo, what are you doing right now? Why haven't you taken what you learned and applied it so that you can get what you planned for? And just all these thoughts in my head as to why no action has been taken. And I basically fell in love with introspection, fell in love with who am I, vision, where do I want to be, and just identifying all these things about myself. But what I began to realize is that there's too much depth. And that's not just me, that's with all of us. There's too much depth to think that you're going to get all of that in a couple months, one setting, especially with us always changing. Well, supposed to be evolving, and our interests, our tastes change. There's stuff about me that I still haven't, you know, understood yet. I'm sure still things about myself that I know I haven't even tapped into certain potentials. And that's the beauty of life. It's not to sit and ponder on that for months, trying to see if you could figure all of that out before you go out into the world. So there's really two things that's going on here. That's the introspection, which is still necessary in order to give you some sort of direction. So I don't regret that period, even though it took me a bit longer than what I anticipated. It was still necessary. And then the second part of that is learning and planning, just that cycle. There was no doing. So I had to obviously identify a balance between learning, planning, and doing. Because if I'm not taking any action on any of this information that I'm gathering, then it's useless. And we all know that, right? But I had to figure that out for myself, what that meant for me, I guess. And a lot of it, to be real, was, which caused me from taking any action, was not anything other than money was on my mind first. So I'm stressing about how to make, in regards to what I'm doing, how to make what I want to pursue make money instead of just doing the thing. And maybe that's part of adulting. I had to get out of that mindset though. And because when I was growing up, when I wanted to learn how to play the piano, I just started playing. I just started playing around with the keys. I liked how the music sound, how the keys sound, how the instrument felt on my hands, and that interest is what sparked movement, momentum. And then even now, even recently, I've been cooking a lot lately. I just start cooking. Part of probably because that's survival, but I just start cooking. And what I realized, I was like, okay, what's the difference between maybe some other things that I'm pursuing or that I'm, trying out, and my direction that I set for myself? And I really thought about it. And the conclusion I came to was the difference is I'm taking action first, getting stuck, and then I'll look for maybe feedback, any questions that I need answered, or help at that point. And I've always operated that way. So I was like, okay, I have to go back to that and apply that in every aspect, not just say stuff that I'm not trying to monetize. That's what you want to do, right? You want to lead with actions. And if I'm starting from the top, right, you want to start out with your interests and then allow your curiosity in that to guide your understanding, to guide your learning. Because what you may find out, and I've noticed this, because like I said, I've been doing this my whole life, but for some reason I just stopped, which I figured out that reason. But you'll learn that once you start doing whatever it is that you're interested in, you may lose that interest once you actually try it. So now you're you're not even going to pursue further understanding or learning because you're not having fun with it. And that's the beauty of taking action first. And going back to the piano example that I gave, growing up, I would just play the piano. And when I realized that my interest was validated because I found it fun, it was fun for me. I was like, okay, now I'm interested in learning how to play actual songs instead of just making noise on this instrument. How to, I was more interested also in feedback. Okay, how can I get better? And then you become just immersed in the learning of it. So yeah, leading with actions is the best way to receive reliable feedback instead of spending hours studying, learning, planning for something that you may not even want to do. Being able to take calculated risks was another hurdle that I needed to overcome because when I thought about it, I was like, this is really affecting my decision making. And at the end of the day, if we want to pursue something, whatever it is, whether it's for leisure or to make money, if we don't make a choice to do that for whatever reason, that's still a choice because no progress is made. If we go ahead and make the wrong choice, right, or what we perceive to be the wrong choice, then what we could do is gather that feedback and apply those lessons going forward. That's still progress. And then, of course, if we make the right choice, we can just reflect on what we did right and then keep doing that. In regards to the inability to take calculated risks, what I realized is I just needed a little process to help me through that. It's basically just a few questions that I asked myself, and that's okay, what's the worst case scenario? Because I always like to move off of that, just so I have some clarity of what could happen, and then am I okay with that? Are you good with that? You need to ask yourself that. If this worst case scenario was to happen, am I okay with that? And then from there, all right, if the worst case scenario was to happen, will this cripple my current situation? Or will I basically be able to continue, I would say, playing the game, continue to, still going about my lifestyle comfortably? So we asked ourselves three questions already. And then the last question that I would come up with is basically, okay, what's the expected value that I'm going to get from whatever it is that I'm pursuing? And does that outweigh the worst case scenario? If the answer to that last question is a yes, make a move. It's none of this overthinking at that point. No more, I got to make a plan for the plan for the plan. Nah, this is it. This is what we're going to do. Because what we've done is we've already gone through our introspection. We've already acknowledged that part is definitely important and necessary because it helps us identify a deeper sense of direction, a meaningful, intentional sense of direction. And after that, we've evaluated our risk. The last thing to do is lead with action. Because at that point, we'll start to receive all the feedback that we need to apply going forward, to apply on, whatever direction, journey that we're on. But yeah, I hope this made sense. And I'm only saying that because, sometimes I be feeling like, yo, did I explain that correctly? But who knows, man? When I edit this, hopefully we piece it together properly. And yeah, but if you have anything else to share, as always, definitely leave a comment below. Share your perspective. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to learn, evolve, and yeah. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all in the next one.